I'm Shiralyn J. Lee and I'm an author and I write lesbian stories, interesting enough. So, I'm coming across a few authors who are just starting out and they're not quite sure on what show versus tell means. So this is just going to be a quick couple of minutes just to explain something, just so we can make it a little clearer. So I've written something on my computer, that's why you see me keep looking this way. So, show versus tell. Tell. Janice smiled. I think most of us hate reading a book where someone smiled, someone nodded, someone grinned. That is telling, and it's also irritating because as a reader and an author, I like to be a little bit more interested in what the person is doing as they respond. So you could elaborate on someone smiling. For instance, instead of Janice smiled, it could be, for an example, Janice's response was silent, except for the gesture of a sweet smile that could possibly melt the heart of an ice queen. To me, that is showing a little, maybe not perfectly in some people's eyes, but I would rather read that than Janice smiled. Here's another one. She glared. What is she glaring at? Why did she glare? I don't know. So, some people will write she glared, or he glared, or they glared at the end or at the beginning of dialogue. This is very amateurish. So, and I didn't say that word properly, but never mind. So let's do something as showing. She opened her eyes wide and absorbed the scene before her. Two girls wrestling on the ground, both grappling at each other's hair, as each one tried to slap their opponent with their free hand. That is showing. Obviously, not everyone's going to be writing a scene about two girls fighting, but I just thought that would be quite good. But instead of she glared, she opened her eyes wide and she absorbed the scene that was going on before her. So it's just elaborating a little bit on just the two-word syndrome that people seem to be doing lately. We need to paint the picture to visualise. Pretend that our readers cannot see. So we have to explain everything, but romantically, basically, with words. So you are not watching a movie, but when you're reading the words, you're actually seeing a movie in your head. So this is what we as authors and as readers should be doing. As a reader, we should be reading it, and as an author, we should be writing it. Here's another one. Don't just write, they got on a plane and landed at Vancouver Airport. Well, whoopee-doo, why would I want to read that? So, elaborate on showing. Maybe start the scene by leaving the house, packing their suitcases into the trunk of the car, maybe a little conversation, some giggles or some tears, depending on why they're leaving. It could be a happy occasion, it could be a sad occasion. Maybe the car can have things happen. They could break down, they could drive somewhere along a narrow road and almost hit a cyclist because the driver was fiddling around with the radio or tuning into a channel or air conditioning, not concentrating fully on what's going on around them. So you need to introduce little things going on, make the journey interesting. They could be the cause of that, obviously. And then at the airport, describe it. There are many variations. You can Google them. That's what I did on one of my stories, and I actually got images of an airport, and I actually described that airport, what they look like inside and outside, the car park, and I even, with my work in progress at the moment, have a character who's complaining that she has to pay $4 for the parking. It's little things like this that we need to be drawn in, because don't just write the story as tunnel vision. If you go outside, you're not just walking down a road. You have houses on each side, cars coming along the road, you have birds flying in the air, clouds, blue sky, grey sky, sun, rain. trees, leaves rustling. Bring it all into the story. Intrigue us and seduce us with your words. Don't just write they walked along a road. There's so much can happen when a person walks along the road. Really look out your window and see what there is, and write it down and include it in your story. Again, back to the plane. Describe the sounds, the smells, planes taking off. Describe check-in. The security check gate. Everyone gets checked in at security. The boarding area. Stepping onto the plane. There could be a crying baby. Maybe a mother's got the baby in their arms and she's singing a soothing lullaby, or saying something to her husband to help her to calm the baby. Maybe there could be somebody who makes a snidey remark, and then the father will, get involved. Just do things that would happen in real life. You just need to widen your vision of when you're writing a story. Instead of telling, you need to show it. Also, they serve food on a plane. What kind of food? What's it served in? Is it nice? Is it horrible? What do you drink? The flight attendant could be, I don't know, a cute boy, or it could be a nice looking girl. Woman, man, get those ages in. So again, as I say, don't just write 1 or 2 words of where they've been. I did help a friend write a scene in a story where she actually had to fly a plane from Canada over to a jungle. I think it was, I can't remember if it was Rio or somewhere like that. It was a while ago. And she'd just written, they flew the plane and landed in the country. And I was like, well, why do I want to read this? I'm not interested. So I actually Googled how to fly a small plane, and I actually learned, obviously not physically, but mentally. I learnt from A to B. I learnt parts of planes, and I made probably 2 pages of flying this plane. And I was actually interested in flying planes, and if I had the money, I would probably go and take lessons, because it was quite interesting what you can learn in flying planes. But I helped her seduce her readers into understanding that they were actually part of that plane flight. So this is what you need to do. Don't just rush your story. And that again is another word you will hear. A lot of authors will rush the story or rush the end. This is because you're not playing the scene out. You need to fill the gaps in the scene. You need to induce everything that's around. You don't have to go over the top with all these silly long words, like 10 words meaning one thing, but just make it interesting, make it exciting. So I hope that little bit of information is going to help you. I will be coming back with other things, and I will probably make a better video with my talk, because I'm not very good at talking. I just like to write, obviously. And I will be discussing a video that I have uploaded on one of my YouTube book trailers, and I will talk to you in the next video about that. Thank you.